What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to the KOrganics introduction to the farm developing here. 17 acres. We're doing a little test plot here. We wanted to demonstrate with the garden. I'll show it to you guys now. So here's the gardens we built. I'd say this is about 300 square feet in total of, or maybe even less, probably about 250 feet of gardening space. We've been doing soil blends. We made some biochar here. We made 300 pounds of biochar, which is probably about 1,000 pounds of wood, just maybe even less, maybe 800 or so. We burnt up into a kiln, and we mixed these beds with the biochar we created on site. You'll see there are a lot of trees here, massive. These are all planted by the property owner 20 or 30 years ago, so we have a lot of biomass we can get rid of here. So what we did is we built these beds, started from scratch. This is native soil, very clay, a lot of heavy volume of clay inside this, so we had to really amend this. We used a lot of the bug frass teas. I'll show you guys, I'll bring that all into this video. I'll show you guys everything we're doing here to go full organic. We just planted these strawberries, so we have strawberry patches. We have like lettuces, arugulas, peppers here. We're growing a lot of squash over here. We just planted these 2 days ago, so they're still kind of catching on, but they're doing okay. They're really overgrown when we bought them. It was, you know, I wish they had repotted them. I would have paid more if they repotted them. But here's another garden we have built. This is, like I said, it's all native soil blend here, and you'll see some of the biochar. I'm just doing these top dress formulations with the bug frass. I do a fermentation with heavy duty microbes that I've been fermenting now for about 7-8 months. Lots of lactobacillus. So we use these microbes with these soil blends inside these native soils, and I like to work beds in for at least a month before I begin planting. But in this case, we came here late. The season had already begun the whole time when I was supposed to build these beds, which would be, you know, March, April. I'd start really getting the beds together, amending, adding teas. But here I only had 2 weeks, so it was a lot of quick prep work. I didn't get to do everything I wanted to do exactly how I wanted to do it, which is great though, because it's another dynamic to show how, yeah, we don't even have to wait, you know, two months to build our beds. We can just build it right away, go fry some char, inoculate the char, add some microbes, you know, add some other compounds. I use a lot of compounds like you'll see here. I'm growing these plants for fertilizer. I had some issues. I don't mean to jump, but I'm just trying to, these are all the inputs that we're using to create a living soil. This is the workings. These are the inner workings, right? So this is a Paulownia tree. This is the best one I have. I use this soil as soon as I came back from California, because I drove these back from California. I had about 13 of them, and I put them into a crappy, they called this garden soil. Man, I would never buy this again. I knew it wasn't good, but I wanted to transplant them because they're starting to get root bound. So anyways, so the Paulownia tree is able to supply our farm with microbes. It captures airborne microbes. These leaves are literally like humongous carbon filters. They produce incredible amounts of oxygen. They scrub the air pretty much clean. So when they're doing that scrubbing, actually in the morning time, they're gathering incredible amounts of microbes. So we use this. We use these leaves. This has got to grow. These things get big, as big as like an oak tree. About 76 feet these can get up to, and they grow that size in about 7 years. So you do the math, 7 years. You're growing about 5 feet a year, maybe 10 feet a year. So, but yeah, so we're getting the garden ready and blended our soils. I'll show you guys the process it took to blend this, all the inputs. I don't have the biochar kiln here at the moment. I've been using it in other places, but we're having good results. This is all, like I said, native soil. We bought the plants like this. This is how they came. We just planted these 2 days ago, so we're just hoping that you know, the way we plant them will revitalize these. These are doing well. These were great when we bought them. It's just these guys were way overgrown. They're way past their capacity inside that transplant, so that's why these are a little funky. But let's see, we got some leaf curling here. I don't know. We'll see what's happening. Most of them look pretty good, but like I said, I didn't get any tests done. I didn't identify the pHs. I just been like going off the cuss. It's just been hardcore freestyling here with the organics. So I'll take you guys to the ferment station right now. We're gonna do some ferments. I'll show you what's going on over here. And yeah, I'll make some more videos of me actually doing the process of doing this. So maybe you guys can get an idea of what it takes and, you know, how we can grow this. I'm always looking to grow this, you know, I'm together, you know, can't be stepping on each other. We got to make sure that we're working together. So here's the frass ferment. I did 3 of these. I did about, let's see, 150 gallons worth of bug frass ferment, and then I chopped it all up. I had, you can imagine, probably 10 full bags of biochar that I had to process. It took me like 2 days. Like, I don't have a hammer mill or anything out here. It's all like, you know, this is serious off the grid. Not serious. I mean, we're not up in the mountains 3 hours away from anything. But yeah, those are all the inputs. Those are the ferments. That's my vermicompost bin. I don't know, it's just like a side project I've been not really doing that well in, but yeah, this is the lab, and this is where we're conducting our fermentations. Those are my pesticidal agents that I created with the Korean Natural Farming book. Very easy to do. Created a lot of it. I believe the one batch they prefer in there will be able to honestly do a whole acre of farming if you have like 32 rows. So but yeah, here's the inoculated biochar. I did this 2 or 3 days ago. This is actually the fine grade. I'll open it up. Doesn't look like much, just it's still super wet. I know it's really hard to dry the char out here on the East Coast. Just the humidity is tough, and yeah, it's definitely would like to have an indoor setting that I can run at like a 32% humidity and maybe have it around 90 degrees to dry this char out. I think that'd be really, the reason why I like to dry it out, so I'm making a mycelium blend, and this will help regenerate dead soils, and I need it to dry out so the mycelium will start growing, because when it's really a lot of moisture inside the char, the mycelium will not grow. It'll just stay wet, which is great too, because then if you're going to go add to soil, the reactions will begin in the soil instead of doing it outside the soil. So it's really good if you already have a really healthy bed. You know, this char would be great, because then the microbes would start interacting together, because I like to grow them inside the bag, the mycelium, like this, and then they just chill out here, dry up, and that's about it. And then you get your mycel char. So, but, and Rick has said the reason why I like to do that is I like to grow the mycelium on there and then put it in the soil. They sell that stuff, Mycos and the Great Shark, the Great White or whatever. It has like a shark on there. That's all that is. You know, I'm creating it in mass. I probably have about 80 pounds sitting there. You know, if you bought 80 pounds of Mycos, you'd probably be broke. Unless, you know, you can afford it. So, but yeah, this is pretty much it. And this is going to be a garden. This is going to be a farm soon. We're going to build, I want to build at least 7 rows. You know, just all the way across here. As you can see, someone had dug a swale over here. I'd like to redesign this swale, clean it up a bit, and like redirect our water so we can go in like a snake pattern, and I can build beds in between them, and we can start slowing down There's a good bit of erosion back in there. It's hard to drive on that, a lot of pockets, so we can control that. We can really get this landscape flattened out and really performing, because that back corner over there gets a ton of sun, and that's where we would just like to turn this whole entire plot. You know, I'd love to grow some wheat, you know, some coarse wheat, make some ferments, make some sourdoughs and sell them out, pastries and whatnot. So yeah, that's the goal here. We got a lot of plans here at the KO farm. So thanks for watching. Not much to it. All we do is do ferments, make biochar from this wood, ferment them in a bucket, bloom. You add a little bit of you add the biochar to that ferment. Like for here, I would just take this, you know, stir it up. This is really good shit. Here, I'll stir it so you guys can see it too. Got my stirring wand. So active. So what I like to do also, I like to take this top layer and just run like a screen around it and gather all this top stuff. This is like fully fermented frass. It's very biologically active. It's gonna soak right. You can dilute this 1 to 500. That's what I would do. I'd make this very holistic, and then you can feed this every day to your plants if you do it that way. And I prefer that way. It's like we take our herb in the morning, or we take our salts and stuff in the morning, and you do that same thing with your plants. You give them a bit of water soluble chitosan, and then you're just kicking ass everywhere. So yeah, I mean, this is that frass ferment. This is the good stuff. There's a bunch of compounds here. I wish I had more of the lacto when I first started. So I just didn't have as much ingredients because I just came back here from the west, so I was still establishing my farm. But now I got a lot of my ingredients set up, and I got my ferments ready to go. So we're gonna build massive rows here. We're hoping to go do 200-foot rows out there, 3 feet wide. Bam, biochar, frass, microbes. These are the microbes. Brew these. I don't know if you can see them. If you can get inside that. See, active. Lots of life. Kind of hard to see that. I'm getting the sun. There you go. Very active. I would consider this an EM3, effective microorganism solution 3. And I've been brewing this now for 7 months, and I use this in my frass ferments. And I use also other fermented plant juices. And we're just after class 3. We need chitinase, right? You add that enzyme with the frass. Frass is chitin. Bam, bam. You got a nice reaction going. You're making water soluble material. Suspending this in aqueous. Boom. Putting it into the char. I don't know if I have any char. Let me see. No char. So, I mean, this is all getting set up. I just got here. This is been here for 2 weeks now. Just had to get the garden in because it's just the season's late. And we came here late and we just weren't ready. We didn't have any plants. Greenhouse isn't even set up. We've just been, struggling. Oh no, I gotta close this. Here, I gotta put the phone down for a second. So yeah, so we use these ferments, biochar. There's that. This is the bags of the inoculated biochar. Keep them closed. I don't want bugs getting in there. I'm drying them out. Oh, here's some biochar. So this was just like a quick ferment. I just poured juice in here. I didn't soak it in or do anything crazy. But this is what we've been processing, this type of char. I like to turn it into a powder. That's my primary goals with the biochar. But then I keep this stuff too, and then I just quick inoculate it and chuck it into garden beds. That works really well. I'll show you the powderized biochar, and I'll show the beds too. I already showed them in the beginning, but I don't know if anybody's seen them. So let's just go back to the test gardens. These are our test gardens, and then we're gonna eventually build massive rows out there in that field using the KO methods, frass, ferments, and biochar. I mean, look at all the wood we have here. We're gonna turn a lot of this. I mean, this all has to get limbed up. There's shit everywhere. I mean, I'm gonna cut a lot of this down and put it into piles, throw microbes on it, make super dang compost. So here's our strawberry patch. We planted this yesterday. We picked these up Wednesday at a farmer's auction slash vendor paradise. Probably like 300, it's crazy, 300 vendors are there. They're all selling plants and stuff. So we just scooped up stuff because we want to, I love strawberries. So we're growing some strawberries. This is, and like I said, this is all native soil. We didn't buy any soil. Everything we did here, we tilled the ground with our hand. You know, we use shovels and stuff, and you know, the weevil thing, that, you know, whatever it's called. But yeah, we just working hard turning the soil, and then we added the amendments, and then we added the frass, and we do teas up the ass, and we get these beds ready. Soil's looking good, and then I cover it up with grass or whatever I have around. I usually like to use leaves, but here it's just all pines, and I just haven't gone out here and searched, to be honest. And I just want to get these beds ready. I want something to look at every day. I was sick of not having plants going, and my girlfriend was, you know, she really wanted a garden, so we used chicken wire. These aren't done yet. We're still like constructing them. I still have the trench around here, and like I said, this is all native. I mean, I just tilled the soil, stacked it up, mixed it with the char. I used about 250 pounds of biochar in all these beds. I wish I had more. I would have probably gone 500 or maybe 600. You know, I'd inoculate it first. And the thing is, I don't have any pH testers. I don't have anything. I didn't even test the ground here. I don't even know what I'm dealing with. But I've grown in this area before, so I know you really just got to look for, you know, some of that good topsoil. Just keep gathering the topsoil, because here it's a bit clayey. I say we probably have about 6 inches of topsoil until we start hitting rocks, especially over here. But down there where you can see where water's flowing, we're getting more erosion. There's some more topsoil down here, and down this area was kind of nice. I had about 8 inches here, so I just built that up, so now I have like 16 inches of topsoil because I brought them up and then put the char in there, and it's working well. We have some squashes here we're planting. Like I said, this is all our own soil. We built this, so you'll see I have frass. I always like to take the frass ferments on the top, and I just keep stacking it on here like cow pies in a way. I mean, this is bug poop. This is mealworm frass, and you'll see there's some biochar in there, and then I just keep stacking this. I keep building the bed. I gotta go find leaves. I gotta like crush the leaves and soak them with the frass and all the other, and the biochar, and I just keep building up these beds, and within a year or two I should be like up to here with this bed by year 2. If I'm not here, I'm not doing something right, you know. And that's all there is to it. Keep building up the soil. You know, this is a great beginning. We have a lot of biochar. The only thing is, usually when I strip the whole bed, right? When I'm making a new bed, I strip all the soil, bam, I get about 6 inches down. That's usually where I like to go. And then I just soak the shit out of that with this biochar slurry. But I didn't have it this time. You'll see in some of my other videos when I was in Chowchilla in California, I actually had to. The San Joaquin Valley, garbage soil, just garbage. So not all of it, you know. Some people are doing good stuff there, but for the most part, it's pretty shot. And here's our other bed. These are tomatoes. These got way, what do you call it? Root lock. These guys were growing in this pot, and they should have been transplanted like a month ago, so they're struggling now. I think my girlfriend planted these. I don't know if she feathered the bottom roots to make sure they can branch out easier, but they'll get better. These aren't good examples. These had just gotten put in like, I think 2 days ago. So, but yeah, letting this stuff go. Some rosemary, some mint, cilantro, stevia, basil, and I forget what that is, but that's cilantro. Cool. Yeah, so this is the garden. We built this all here. Didn't buy anything, created everything here. I grow my own fertilizers. We're putting it to the test. I've already put it to the test a bunch of other places, but I haven't really brought it here to the East Coast and started experimenting here with this soil, because this is not red clay. This is something, you know, this probably soil might be a little bit more acidic, or because I know out on the west it's very alkaline. That clay soil is a bit alkaline, so we'll see what we're working with. Or is it acidic? I don't know. Don't quote me on it. But so that's it. That's all it is. We're gardening. We're using low cost inputs. We're growing our own plant food here. Plant food, I mean, we're turning the carbon in these paulownia trees. Let me explain the paulownia for a minute. So the paulownia is one of the world's fastest growing trees. And with that knowledge and understanding that the air is full of microbes, that we can harvest microbes from leaves. Now, if these are one of the fattest growing, biggest growing C4 pathway, C4 photogenic pathway, photosynthetic pathway, means that it uptakes sugars incredibly quick, creates food for itself faster than most plants. And it's hard, plants usually have C4, trees don't usually have that C4 pathway. So these do, so these grow quick. These take a lot of the carbon out of the air, create a lot of biomass. So what I do with these trees, I let them grow, get them humongous. I start harvesting these leaves. And these compounds in these have plant growth promoting bacterias. And they have incredible amounts of nitrogen, and they just blow your plant up. You know, these are doing really well because I planted these in really good soil when I got back home about 2 weeks ago. It's the only good soil I could find that was around, because I was desperate, because my plants were starting to get, the taproot was definitely getting locked up. So I was like, oh, I got to put them in it. So I used this shitty soil and I regret it, but this is what we're dealing with. So these will harvest airborne microbes. We will ferment these leaves, and then we will feed these to the mealworms I produce to create a further usage for the remains of the fermentation. Like a silage, we make a silage, right? And from that silage, when we're doing a fermentation, we get the juices, and the juices we use as a nutrient, and then the leaves we use to feed to the bugs. And the bugs eat that and produce another fertilizer. It has 34 elements inside it, incredible amounts of phosphorus, lots of calcium, everything we need. So that's why these trees are so important. They grow so quick, faster. I think they grow faster than bamboo or poplar. I'd like to, you know, put some money on that, you know. So that's it. And that's what those microbes over there were. I don't know if anybody saw, you know, earlier in the video, I showed those microbes, and that's how I generate these. These have incredible amounts of lactobacillus. It's basically, it just gathers whatever in your air. You don't, like Korean natural farming, they always like, oh, we got to do the starch. We got to take the potatoes. We got to, you know, boil a potato a little bit, and then push them through a cloth, and then let the potato water sit in the air, and then we strain the potato water, and then we got our, you know, we got our labs. So I do it a different way. You know, I take that knowledge and I expand, because that's what it's about. It's about innovating what's already working, making something work better. Because fermentation, I was reading, I have a plant physiology book, and they speak about how when plants go through stressful environments, they actually start doing fermentation to survive. When there's nothing around, they start releasing the exudates in the rhizosphere. They start activating acids, so they can start chelating the environment around them so they can get nutrients. That's what plants do. They find a way to thrive. It's just like when we fast, same way. And that creates a resilient, because you want resilient plants. You don't want to like have a spoiled plant. You know, you want something that's going to be thriving. And this is what this does. You know, I don't really baby my plants. I blast them with everything I can, you know, make them strong. So there we go. And that's it. That's the KO farm. And I really appreciate everyone watching. If there's any questions, you know, I would, you know, be more than happy to answer. I don't even know how to see it. If anybody even asked one. No. Okay. Well, I think that's all I have to really talk about. I'll show you guys more progress on the farm. We're going to be making more gardens soon. I got to make some bone sauce. Yeah, there's a lot to freaking do. And I got to make a chicken coop. And then we got to get maybe a generator. I don't really want a generator. I get a solar panel here and just start pumping water from the pond here. So we don't have to freaking take all the water. It's such a pain in the ass when you got to use these 50-gallon drums to haul water around, but hey, whatever, I'll do what I got to do. So thanks for watching, everyone. Yeah, I'll be filming more. I'll try to do some more live stuff when I'm in the middle of like actually building beds, and try to answer questions if anybody has any, or you know, no one asked any questions, so that's good. No one has any questions. I hope I covered everything. If anyone has any questions, feel free to chat, you know, say, hey, yo, how do you do this, yo? So, all right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day, and give care and be careful.